Okay, just a short video today to look at this 2005 Dalek from Character Options. This is the 12-inch radio controlled model, and I'm just going to take it apart because I don't think anyone's sort of documented how these come apart. They're not that easy, but let's start off and have a look at it. We've got basically 6 screws in the bottom, so we'll start by taking those out. This will give us access to the inside. You don't need to take the battery cover off. I know there's no batteries in this, you'll see why in a minute, but there's no screws hidden under there, so that can stay shut. You'll also notice, eagle-eyed people, and you'll notice that the switch is missing on this one, which should be sort of here. But there you go. So take all these out to start with. And we've got 2 more down here, if you can see that. So we'll take those out as well. They're all Phillips screws. They're all the same size. I'm not sure what size this screwdriver is, but it's the bigger one. Now you'll see what I mean. I've already been in here and taken the electronics out of it, so that's why it's been empty, and that's why I know there's no batteries in there, because there's nothing soldered to it. The speaker's gone, the circuit board. They've been used in another project, but this can go to one side now, and we've got the rest of the Dalek here. Now the next thing is to take the skirt off, which is this part here, and there's no easy way of doing it. You've got to find, you'll see in here that you've got these pieces that cross where the screws are fitted. They're inside here, and the only way to get to those is to take some of these hemispheres off the side, and there's no easy way of doing it. And they were put on 2005, so you know, nearly 20 years ago now. They're going to break. There's not a lot you can do about it. You can try warming it up with a hairdryer, but I wouldn't recommend too much heat on this because it is plastic. And you can see there's some sort of paint. I don't know what that is. Yeah, it's sort of like a paint on there as well. But I tried to sort of really carefully, you see I've taken them off, get them off without breaking. They all broke. I think the top ones, actually, you can see I haven't actually got the paint on, or the glue, or whatever it was, but even those, they're not going to come off without breaking, so you're going to end up with some broken hemispheres. Now what I have done, I've glued the parts back on that broke. They will snap, of course, if you put them under pressure. So I've filed the point off, so that when they do go in, I can just use that to locate them and put a bit of hot glue or something on the inside to hold them on. So those we can put to one side, but that reveals these 4 holes here. And again, if we take our Phillips screwdriver, these should come out. 1, 2, 1 doesn't want to come out. Got it. Right, so all those are out. Now they're all the same size, these, so it doesn't really matter if they get mixed up. We got half a dozen for the base, 4 for the skirt. Put them in out at the top. Now we've got the skirt screws out, but it's still not going to come off, and that's because the this part which rotates on this model is in the way. Now this is where it starts to get a bit fiddly. What we're going to need is a flat screwdriver, which I haven't got to hand, of course, but let's just see what we can do. This has got to come off because this rotating part covers the top connection of that skirt. If you see, if I try and force it, it's not going to come apart because it's stuck underneath this rotating part. Now the screws for this are hidden under these two plastic covers on the back, and you can see that. You can see probably, you know, where the lines are, where they fit, and there's no obvious way of getting them off. I just really had to, as I say, get a flat screwdriver, get it in there and just pry it off, and you'll see when I take this off that it was just glued on, and it was glued on with a really strong glue as well. Now whether a bit of, you know, again, a hair dryer or something, just a bit of heat just to warm that up would help get that off, but that has got to come off. And you know, I've damaged it a little bit there, but yeah, nothing you can't tidy up later. And then you've got the same on this side as well, so in there, you know, pry that off. Now these are made of it's not really a flexible plastic, but it feels a bit different to the rest of the plastic on there. It's got a little bit of give to it, so yeah, maybe a bit of warmth would help that. But this glue was really strong, and you can see that, you know, I've damaged it a little bit getting that one off. But once you got those two pieces off, and I think they are sided, I mean, that's obviously, you can see because it's got the damage on that side, so that one's obviously the one from there. But once you got those off, the next thing is you've got 4 more screws in here, and that screwdriver is not going to fit, so we're going to use a smaller one. And I think, got a feeling I might have had a bit of trouble with one of those. I think it was that one. Yeah, I think it's that one. So I've probably only got 3 screws in this. They're quite far in. I mean, it's the same with that skirt, you know, they're halfway down. So these are, you know, the screwdriver's going in 3 or 4 centimeters. There's one. Oh, these are different size. Oh, they're a different size. So yeah, you do need a different size screwdriver. That's probably why I had trouble with the first one, because I was trying the other side. So we'll take these out. So I'm only going to have 3 screws in this, because I had trouble with it the first time. And I ended up having to drill one out, which is never great, but needs must. So we got, yeah, 3 slightly smaller headed screws. We'll put those in there. Now this piece now should come off. So this piece comes off, and you can see how long you've got to get in there with the screwdriver. And it's a good length, about halfway. That one comes off as well. That's the front of the shoulders. So we've now got the shoulders off. And I say I was lucky. Okay, I had to drill one out, but I was lucky that I didn't damage the actual shoulders themselves. So those 2 parts make up the rotating section, and you can see how I won't take those off, but you can see how the plunger and the gun are held in with 2 more screws. Now that's dropped down because that was obviously only being held up by these. And you can see now that ring where the skirt, now we've taken that's done it for me. We've taken the screws out of that, so the skirt will come off. So we've now got the skirt off. Put those over there. And we're left with just this part, which is the neck rings. Now those, you'll see, they lock into, there's a little, this is very, little slot there. So that just comes, and just to get it off, we've got to just line it up with that slot there. That's the only purpose that has, just to be able to take that on and off. So that piece comes off in one go. Now we've then got our old friends, the screws again, and looking at them, they're the smaller size. So we take those out. 6 in this part. Well, he says 6, but there isn't one there and there isn't one there, and I've not been in this far before, so there's actually only 4 holding it together. You get that reassuring noise that they've never been out before. There it is. And one more at the top. Now, just before I take this off, I'm just going to make a note of which side they're on. I mean, looking from the back, they're on the left. So we take that off, and something's dropped out. That's the rod that turns the head, and that's just popped out, presumably from there. And that would normally, there we go, yeah, that would normally be powered by the motor, so it would do something like that. It's just sort of moving that part in and out. So we'll take him off, bit of grease on that. And we've now got the head, so we can disconnect that from that. You can see that ratchet, we won't do that, it's all greasy. And there's the head. And I don't think we need to take it much further than that. Really, that sort of shows it disassembled. I'm quite happy with that. So there you go. The most difficult part really is just those shoulder pieces that are glued on. They're the only parts that are glued on, and I can't see another way to put them back. They do stay in anyway by themselves, but you know, maybe a glue that's not quite as strong for those. So there we go, that's one stripped 2005 Character Options Dalek. Now there are plans for this Dalek, which if you want to like and subscribe the video, you'll probably see in the next one. Thanks very much, bye.